All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the man who taught me this truth. I would like to say shalom to you, Akim, and you, Fiwakwath, you men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. It's your brother Micah Allah, coming at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, Lord willing, to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom America, and to also give warning to you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans on the impending dangers that's said to come to pass written within the Holy Scriptures. The same Bible, which is the #1 selling book on the earth, also the same Bible that's in your grandmama's house on her coffee table, and the same Holy Bible that, these other, false religions such as Christianity, Roman Catholic Church, everybody wants to give their private interpretation concerning the scriptures, but it's without understanding. You see, they're giving a false message, such as, knowing Christianity, God loves everybody, all nations can be saved, the Lord is dealing with all people on the planet Earth. But that's clearly contrary to what's written within the Holy Scriptures, you see, and mainly what's recorded within the Scriptures is lamentations, mourning, and woes, man. You see, but let's start off right here, because we're in perilous times, and whether you people want to believe it or accept it or not, this place America will be destroyed by thermonuclear fire, man. And our Lord Yahweh Shai, which is a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah, you see, is coming back to deliver his elect, you see. But let's go right here. This is Ezekiel 3 and verse 17. It says, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel." You see, so the prophets have been sent out in these last days, starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to be watchmen to you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel, man, from Judah all the way down to Issachar, man. That's your true biblical nationality. You're not black people. You're not Latinos. You're not Native American savages. All of these proverbs and bywords that your enemy Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, has placed upon our people. You see, because those are not nationalities, and that's not what the Lord called us according to the Bible, man. But sticking to the point, the prophets have been set up just like times of old, even today, to be a watchman, you see, to the house of Israel. It didn't say to the house of everybody, to the house of Moab, to the house of Ham, Japhet. No, to the house of Israel, man. And what is the job of a watchman? You see, the job of a watchman is to basically foresee the evil, sit upon the watchtower and foresee the evil to come, and to blow the alarm, blow, the trumpet of warning, and to give a message of what's coming, and the message concerning evils and only evils, man. You see? So let's read again. Back in Ezekiel 3 and verse 17, it says, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me." You see? So we are here through the mercies of Yahweh Shema Shai to warn you, man. You see? And to warn you of the impending dangers that is said to come, because we're living in dangerous times. We're living in perilous times, man. Day in and day out, people are being taken off of the earth in many different ways, by the way of plagues, many other judgments that Yahweh Shema Shai, has sent forth in these last days. And these evils are not going to stop, you see, until our Lord Yahweh Shai returns, and destroys this kingdom and takes Esau, Edom out of the power seat, you see. But things are not going to get better for this place, America. So you Jake shouldn't have a mindset that, you know, this place is gonna continue forever. You know, you shouldn't be in 2026 still believing in the American dream, you know, which has kept you Jakes asleep, you know, and actually disarmed you, and to have you thinking that this is your place of rest. This place has deceived you into thinking that this is your rest, when it's clear as day written that this place is not our rest. You see, Jake, you made yourself comfortable here just because, you know, the Lord allowed you to be nourished here for a time. You know, you may have a decent job, making a decent amount of money, and Jake has become, you know, accustomed to this place, America, thinking that, you know, this is basically the kingdom. You see, and this is not the kingdom, man, because nothing but wickedness springs forth out of this place. Nothing righteous goes forward here, because the wicked is in power. You see, you don't have Esau upholding the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shema Shai, because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. But continuing on, and we're here to also warn you, Jakes, that this man is about to come down upon you with great wrath. You see, because he's about to establish this NWO system, you see, which is already set into play, and it's going to consist of that micro C-HIP being physically implemented in the planet Earth, except for the elect, a majority of the planet Earth, you see. But we're in the moment where this devil is beginning to fill his belly. You see, the infrastructure set up. You could go to your local Whole Foods and you could pay with your hand, you know, different Amazon stores, to where you could just walk out or pay with your hand, or however the case may be. People have went overboard with technology. People are obsessed with technology, you know, can't put the phone down, can't think of people don't even go outside for real no more, man. You know, like when you was a kid, you know, Jacob be outside, you know what I mean, riding a bike or something, you know. But not too many people even go outside. People just cooped up in their houses, you know, with 5G all around them, man. You see? But Esau is getting you people basically fattened for the slaughter, man. You see? And this is what we are here to warn you about. You see? We're here to warn you, so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, not to take that micro C-HIP, but to trust in Yahweh Shema Shai. Because if you take that C-HIP, you will be destroyed, man. You see? And the mark of the beast is a physical microchip as a grain of rice that's going to be physically implanted, whether it's in your hand or whether it's in your forehead or wherever. You see? So it's a physical mark, and you're not going to be able to buy or sell and continue in this society if you don't have that mark, man. You see? But continuing on, it says, therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. You see? So these are the words of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. These are the Lord's words going forth. And the Lord put these words in the mouth of the prophets to speak these things, man, because this is the Lord warning you, Jakes, not to trust in this society, not to trust in the different goodies that Esau is going to try to, you know, throw in your face. You see? You got AI, this AI system is just running rapid, taking away all your jobs, you know. And what do you think it's going to be like when the MOTB is implemented, man? You see? It says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. So this is why we're warning you of these things, because this information is able to save your life, man. You see? That's why it's important for you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans to receive that engrafted word, which is able to save your soul, man. You see? So we're not just some guys out here, you know, that's just talking. You know, people like to call us fear mongers, but through the fear of the Lord, we persuade men. We're here to persuade you, you know, to fear the Lord. You see? Because we tell you, if you don't fear Yahweh Shemel Shai, the Lord's going to bring a judgment to make you fear him. And in that point, it's going to be too late for fearing. It's just going to be straight business, man, through the way of judgments. It says, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hands. So if the prophets don't warn you of these said perils that said to come to pass, guess what? That means the blood will be on our hands. So that's why the Lord had commanded us, you know, to go out and prophesy, you see, to speak these warnings basically into existence, man. You see, to speak the destruction of America into existence. And this is what's going to leave a lot of you people, as prophecy continues to manifest, this is going to leave a lot of you people without excuse, you see. You're not going to be able to say, I didn't know, you see. You're not going to be able to say, well, nobody told me, you know what I mean, that Esau was the devil. Nobody told me about no micro C hip. Everybody has a smartphone. Damn near everybody got internet. It don't even matter if you homeless. Even if you just physically, you know, descend upon the prophets on the highways and byways, or however the Spirit may lead you, you people have heard the message, man. You've heard the prophets warn about World War III.
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth.
Salaki. That's the Spirit. But yeah, continuing on. So you're not going to have no excuses in that day, man. You see? It says, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul, you see? So that means the blood is off of our hands, you see? So now the Lord is justified in killing you, man. You see? And that's why the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, you see? Because in order for you to be protected in these last days, you have to fear Yahweh Shemel Shai, you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. You see? It's better to fear the Lord early and to seek him early while he may be found. So when the time of judgment does come to its fullness, so to speak, the Lord's mercies can be on display, you see? And the Lord can have mercy upon you, because that's ultimately what we're all seeking. We're all seeking the mercies of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And when you look at your average person, you know, in this world, these people aren't concerned about the will of the Lord. These people aren't concerned about, well, how does the God of the Bible feel about this place, America? With all this wickedness that's accumulated throughout the four corners of the earth, through the reign of Esau Edom. Nobody is complaining about these evils, you know, that's in the earth, or these evils that's even being brought about through Esau. You see, because you have more information coming out about, you know, those Epstein files, you know, and here it is. I came across a video earlier about how one perceived to be Edomite. He pulled up a certain email with this dude Epstein, you know, and one of the Rothschilds, and they were basically bragging about hunting you Jakes on his island, man. You know, literally hunting you down and killing you Jakes, man. You see? And this is that perfect and perpetual hatred that the Lord told us that this devil would have against the nation of Israel. That's why you Jakes, you got majority of the prison system is filled with nothing but you Jakes. You see? Everything through your food, through different commercials, you know, everything is basically geared, you know, to come against you, so to speak, man, in this society. You see? Because this is not your place of rest. You know, we're here to warn you of that. So you shouldn't have a mindset of, you know, a fucking 10-year plan here. when you can retire from your job to get a damn 401k or whatever the case may be, or get some type of benefits in this world, which is nothing wrong with the Lord throwing you a bone here and there, but it's just about a mindset. You see? Let's go here. It's Romans 12 and verse 2. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You see? That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. You see? So we're not to be conformed to this world, man. You see? And let's go into this word conform right here. It's that phrase, be conformed. Strong's G4964. It says to conform oneself, one's mind and character to another's pattern, fashion oneself according to. You see? So we're not supposed to fashion or pattern our ways according to the ways of America. So we're not supposed to live like these average Americans live. You know? We're not supposed to have a diet like these people. You see? We don't like the same things that these people like, because guess what? These people like America. These people love this place. And that proves that they're enemies of Yahweh Shemal Washai, because they don't see a problem with a 6'8" tranny, you know what I mean, reading books to your goddamn elementary school kids, man. They don't see nothing wrong with after church Satan, you know. They don't see nothing wrong with a woman being above a man. They don't see nothing wrong with abominations being the delicacy of this place. And that'll be what a nigga will boast in, is the fact that he eating calamari or clam, shrimp, crab, lobster balls, you know. They don't see a problem with that pork. You see, with you Jakes, you love pork, man, and you wonder why your ankles all swole, you know. You wonder why your grandmama dead, you see. And then when the prophets come out and tell you about these things, we become public enemy number one. You know, here it is, we rebuke the wickedness that's being pushed to the forefront of this place, and you people would rather see us dead than the nigga that's actually trying to kill you. You know what I mean? Then he tell you he trying to kill you, you know, and you people just shun the shit off, man. Here it is, this nigga literally telling you on the back of your toothpaste he trying to kill you, making you drink from plastic bottles. It's plastic every fucking well, you know. The nigga put pork in your face and say it's better to have your burger with some pork bacon on there. And he ain't even go, nigga could at least say beef bacon, you know what I mean? Or turkey bacon. Nah, that nigga made sure to make sure it was pork being pushed to the forefront. You see? So the man that's actually, you know, putting all type of chemicals in your food, you people are grown accustomed to eating human meat, you know? And he'll tell you that, and you people don't care. And that's exactly why the Lord's going to destroy a lot of you, really all of you Americans outside this council, man. The Lord's really going to destroy this place, you see? Because you people call good evil and evil good, you see? But going back, so it says to conform oneself, one's mind and character to another's pattern. You see, so we're not to have, our patterns. We're not supposed to fashion ourselves according to Esau Edom. You see, because his pattern and his way of doing things is what reigns supreme here in the planet Earth. That's why everything is so jacked up. That's why Jacob go home to his woman nagging. Any wickedness that is out here, all that goes back to Esau Edom. You see? And how you know this man is the problem is because, look, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. And this man literally has the power or influence to change things and make things right. But you got wicked families, banking families, that literally gets off on oppressing the whole planet Earth. You got fucking trillionaires, and billionaires in the earth, but you have homeless people. Then, to take it a step further, this dude will have restaurants everywhere, and the nigga would rather throw the food away at the end of the shift. He made sure to tell the managers or whoever the fuck is in charge, he made sure to tell them, no, you can't give out no free food to the homeless. You can't give him a free righteous cheeseburger, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You can't give a motherfucker some chicken, when he hungry as hell. You got all this land that you got all the trillion, you got all this land, but the nigga crunch everybody together like sardines and then hoard the rest of the land to himself. Now you ain't got, now people don't have nowhere to lay their head at. They don't have no place to sleep. That's fucking wicked. But when you speak out against these things, now you gotta die now. That's enough for you. You gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's why Yahweh Shema Shai is going to destroy this dude, man. You see? Because that's who Yahweh Shai is coming back to basically deal with, man. But going back to that Romans 12:2, it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You see? So our minds have been renewed, man. Because having this information, having this truth, it gives you a new perspective on life, or what life is, according to how Yahweh Shema Shai wants life to basically be like, how you're actually supposed to govern on this planet Earth. You see? Well, you're supposed to have a mindset after Yahweh Shema Shai through following the laws, statutes, and commandments, such as the land Sabbath, the Sabbath in general, because these things allows life to flourish, or it allows your kingdom to flourish. You see? But what this dude does, he does the complete opposite. So we're not supposed to be contrary to Yahweh Shema Shai. We're supposed to be like-minded like Yahweh Shema Shai. And the only way that you could get the mind of the Lord, or understand the mind or the will of the Lord, well, you have to go to the prophets, man, because that's the ranking order. And that's another thing. You got all these people in the earth. When you look on these different social media platforms, a motherfucker always want to say what God told them. Motherfucker always want to give a opinion on what God think, or how God is. And these people don't even know the Lord, man. These people don't even know that this place is about to be destroyed, man. You see? God told me you gonna get a blessing. You gonna hit the lotto, nigga. You got that manifestation demon out here. Motherfucker think they got free will, No, everything is predestinated, man. Ain't no such thing as no free will. You see? But it says, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. You see? And what's the ultimate will or the God of the Bible? Well, as we spoke about numerous of times, is to destroy this place, America, because you can't sit up here and say that the Lord is okay with how life is right now under Esau's rulership. You can't sit up here and say that the Lord don't have a problem with how this society is being ran. You see? Because if the Lord was okay with how things is going right now, that means this is the kingdom of heaven. And that means everything in the sights of the Lord is perfect. And that's where you people had the game messed up, because you think this is how life is supposed to be. You're supposed to have wickedness in the kingdom. You see? And Christianity made you people think that shit, or made you think that kingdom of heaven is in the spirit world, you know, or in the heavens, because they don't even know about that. And you just think that when you die, that's when you can obtain, you know, the kingdom. Not understanding that, you know, the kingdom of heaven is going to be right here on earth. You see? It's going to be on earth as it is in heaven. You see? So that same order that's in the spirit world, that's in the spirit world, that same righteous order and perfect order is going to come down through New Jerusalem, through our Lord Yahushua, you know, and reign supreme forever. And that's when you're going to have everlasting life. That's when you're going to have perfect peace, mainly for you Israelites. You see? That's when you're going to be immortal, you know? But this place has to be taken out of the way in order for that which is sown with good to come. But let's go here. This Jeremiah. Jeremiah 51 and verse 5, it says, "For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, of the Lord Yahweh Shemaiah of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel." You see? So the Lord has not forsaken Israel. You see? Because the small had to have you believe that, you know, they the real people, you know. The Lord just did away, you know what I mean, with the Israelites, and everybody can, you know what I mean, be Israelites now, you know. And the small had mainly talking about these banking families. They've pushed that false doctrine through Christianity, you know, because here it is, it's a damn shame how people could literally, all throughout the scriptures, Old and New Testament, you hear about the Israelites being bought up, Israel being bought up. But can't nobody identify who the fuck Israel is in today's time. It's like Israel was just done away with. Everybody could come in, hold hands together, and sing Kumbaya. But that's not according to the Holy Scriptures, because the Lord never did away with the nation of Israel to begin with, and the Lord never dealt with another nation, period. The Lord didn't give the laws, statutes, and commandments to no Moab, you know. The Lord gave the laws, statutes, and commandments through Moses, you know, to the nation of Israel. And made a promise with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that he will forever be our power. And the Lord doesn't change, man. See, you people like to think that the Lord just, one day he just said, you know what, I'm going to just change my mind. I know I chose Israel, but I changed my mind now. Now I want everybody. You know what I mean? When if that's what the Lord wanted, he could have just did that from the beginning. But how it was from the beginning, the Lord always dealt with Israel, you see? But even before Israel, it was the sons of God, you see? The Lord didn't even deal with everybody, you know? He only dealt with his chosen nation, and that hasn't changed today, man, because the Lord don't change. But for the Lord, it says, "For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power." And how do we know that the Lord hasn't forsaken us? Well, because we have raised back up, you know, with that breath within us. you know, and pursuing the Ezekiel the 37th chapter, you know, with those dry bones that was in the valley, which is America, you know. We've raised back up, you know, knowing our nationality, you know, knowing the names of our power, which the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, you know, and the name of his only begotten son is Yahweh Shai, you know, not no Jehovah, not no Yahuwah, not no Yeshua, no Yahweh, Wah, Yahweh Shai. You see? So the Lord hasn't forsaken his people, man. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, which is America, and deliver every man his soul. And this ain't talking about no flee doctrine. This ain't talking about, you know, now that we understand that we Israelites, that don't mean go pack all your shit, go take a flight all the way back to the land of Israel. You see? Because guess what? The land of Israel is going to be destroyed and clean, dissolved. You know? Because nothing but wickedness goes on in that land. And that's supposed to be a holy land, man. But here it is, you got flares over there. You got, I think, one of the biggest flare parades, you know what I'm saying? It's done right over there in the Holy Land, which is a clear, you know, disrespect to Yahweh Shema Shai. But that's through whose influence? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You see? So continuing on, it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. You see? Fleeing out of this place spiritually, you know? Not having a 10-year plan here. Not wanting to see your son one day play fucking basketball in the league, because that shit ain't happening, man. That shit getting tired and old as hell anyways. You know? That weak ass shit. Because the Lord is taking the lust and shine from this place. You know? It says, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh Shema Shai's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. You see? So the Lord has declared judgment for this place, America. You see? So you see these Americans, you boasting in God bless America. God ain't bless no damn America, man. The Lord said he's going to burn this place. You see? This place is going to be a desolate wilderness through those thermonuclear through those thermonuclear missiles. You see? And this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. Because here it is, this place has disrespected the God of the Bible. It disrespects the God of the Bible on a daily basis. You know, this place upholds a false narrative on how the God of the Bible looks, you know, how the God of the Bible think, you know. So that means this place got to pay for that, man. Here it is, this land is defiled with the blood of the children of Israel, you know. And it tells you in Numbers that that blood cannot be cleansed but by him that shed it. That's the only way, roughly paraphrasing, that's the only way that this land is going to be clean, man. You see? So the same people, which is the Edomites, you know, and you heathens, you played a role, you know, in the downfall of Israel. You still playing a role in it, you know? So that blood that you shed on these same various soils, your blood has to be shed. And that's what makes Yahweh Shema Shai a balanced power, man. In a righteous judge, you know? That's why it says, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. Why you think the Lord is sending out so much judgment? If God really blessed America, why is America growing weaker and weaker by the day? You see? Because the Lord is about to do away with this place. You know? It says he will render unto her a recompense. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. And that's through those philosophies and doctrines, like I just brought up the point, you know, on how, you know, you got majority of the people over here and throughout the four corners of the earth that honestly believe that the God of the Bible is a so-called white man, is an Edomite with leprosy, with blonde hair and blue eyes, man. You see? And that's supposed to be the standard of beauty. Absolutely not. When clearly it tells you in numerous scriptures, revelations, you know, Daniel's, that Yahweh Shema Washad is a so-called black man, or are so-called black men. And the angels in heaven are so-called black men. You see? But that's not pushed to the forefront as it should be. People really think the Lord is a soft ass Edomite, you know, and that's why judgments is gonna continue to come to this place. You see, it says the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. You see, so the nations, these heathen nations that's cleaved to America, cleaved to the philosophies of America, the doctrines of Esau, you know, they've been made drunk off of this man's lies and deception. You see? Straight drunk. To where now you got a McDonald's in Egypt, you know? You got Moab wearing a suit and tie, you know? Moab calling himself Chinese, you know? So they drunk. These heathens are drunk, you know? But these heathens are also waking up out of that sleeper state, so to speak. And now they're becoming angry with the Lord, because now that they've taken on these different practices that Esau taught them, you know, they seeing, you know, even in their own household, even their household fucked up. They've done these certain deals with Esau, and him being a complete demon, you know, he'll break certain peace treaties and agreements and contracts, you know. So they are understanding that this man don't play fair. This man don't even play by his own rules, man. You see? And you see that with Trump. But continuing on, it says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. And that's what's going to happen to this place. Suddenly. The Lord's going to visit this place suddenly, man. And it's going to come upon all you people like a thief in the night. And eventually, every eye is going to see the Son of the Heavenly Father. Every eye is going to see him. And the Lord's going to look like a so-called black man with an ancient garment on, you know. Lord, you're going to see the Fathership covering the whole earth with the other chariots, you know, which are the so-called UFOs, you know. So you people are going to behold these things. You see? These heathens are going to behold the destruction of this place, America. It tells you that in Revelations, the 18th chapter. How they stood afar off, seeing this place basically on fire, man, roughly paraphrasing, and destroyed. But going back, it says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. You see? It says we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. So America can't be healed, man. So you people thinking that, yeah, we know America messed up right now, but eventually things is going to get back better. Absolutely not. You see? Because the Lord is whooping this place, and he's not going to stop until it's no more. And this is what we're warning you Jakes about. You see? Because the Lord is not going to stop whooping this place just because you Jakes are joined hand in hand with Esau. You know? The Lord's not going to stop whooping this place. That's not going to change the mind of the Lord from destroying this place just cause you got some niggas that pray for America, that pray for Esau, like that's gonna suddenly change the mind of the Lord. Let's go here. Proverbs 19 and verse 21, it says, there are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel or the plans of Yahweh Shema Shai, that shall stand. You see? So at the end of the day, you people can have all these different imaginary fairy tales in your head concerning this place, America, concerning the continuation of this place. You could think what you want to think. You could think, okay, yeah, things are bad now, but eventually it'll get back better, build back better, you know. But this place can't be healed. This place has been stricken with a blow by Yahweh Shema Shai, and it's not no saving this place, man. It's not no saving this place from prophecy. It's not saving this place from what's written. So it doesn't matter what your status is in this world, how much money you got. This place is going to be destroyed. And we're reading it. You see? So you can have you can have a damn 30-year plan. Cause even Esau, this nigga think he just gonna rule forever. You know? This nigga really think he got it. You see? But that's according to his mind. That ain't according to the mind of Yahweh Shema Shai. That's according to his mind. You see? But guess what? The counsel of the Lord is going to stand at the end of the day. Going back. This Jeremiah 51. In verse 9 it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. You see? And that's these heathen nations. You're seeing these heathens turn around and go back to their countries, you know. You even got certain northern kingdom that's came over here to America, and certain jakes, you know, that's in these foreign countries, you know, and of course they believed in the American dream, but then they get over here and see this place is a piece of shit. So they just stack up their money the best way they can, and they just move back to their own country, man. You see? Moab get his little bit in over here, and he gonna take his ass back to China. Ammon set his little shop up here, you know, and he back in Japan. You see? And ultimately, with this war that America has been brought into through Israel, which is the least of the flock, drawing this whore out, these heathens ultimately know that it's not gonna end well for America, man. Especially when Russia gets involved. You see? Because now the playing fields is even now. The playing fields is even. So America isn't the only country with thermonuclear capabilities. Now these heathens are doing certain deals with certain countries that produce these hypersonic missiles. So now the playing fields is even. You got BRICS that's being established, which even that shit gonna come tonight. Cause it's not like when America is destroyed, Russia gonna take over. Now Lil Putin gonna be the next demon to rule. You know, it ain't like Ham gonna get his ass in the power seat and rule something? Absolutely not. After America is destroyed, Yahweh Shai's kingdom is gonna be set up to govern, you know? And it'll never be another heathen that'll call another shot, you know, or to make a judgment concerning how the earth should be operated. Because you heathens that had your turn to rule. The Lord has given all you heathens your turn to rule. And of course, the Lord gave it to us as well through King Solomon. But that was just 40 years, man. You know? That was just 40 years apiece. So the Lord is going to continue that same reign of King Solomon, which is Yahweh Shai. And instead of 40 years apiece, the Lord's going to, he already got it set up for eternity, man. You see? Well, we'll forever be on top with new bodies, you know, a perfect in line spirit with our power, Yahweh Shema Shai, never to transgress, never to go off, never to think another wicked thought, you know, never to do nothing that could flare the Lord's anger up against us. You see? And these are the things that we cry out for, you know? And the Lord is hearing those prayers. That's why we're hastening, you know, the destruction of this place. That's why we're always speaking about the evils to come to this place, because while you people are all scared, not knowing what the hell going on, not knowing what to do in these times, being in that state of perplexity, you know, shunning the words of the Lord, shunning the prophets, you know. While you doing all these things, hey, at the end of the day, these things are going to happen, man. Words of the Lord is still going to come to pass. But going here, it's Habakkuk 2. In verse 1, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. You see? So these prophecies are plain. You see? Because the Lord has given the understanding to the prophets, starting with our apostles and elders, to break these prophecies down to you and to give you a clear picture on what the will of the Lord is. You see? So once we heard the message from what the Lord is about to do, we run to the highways and byways through the way of the internet, you know, or physically being out there in the street corners, you know, and we proclaim the gospel that will be preached throughout the four corners of the earth, that will bring forth the end of this place, man, pursuing to Matthew the 24th chapter. And we're here to break these prophecies down concerning what the Revelations 13 and 16 is, concerning World War III, you know, concerning Yahweh Shai's ultimate return, and to make these things plain. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So the visions, meaning the prophecies, are set for an appointed time to come to pass. You see? These things were written to come to pass at his appointed time. And we're seeing some of the visions play out. We're seeing the major visions or prophecies play out right before our very eyes. We're living in prophecy, literally. Even from us waking up, you know, and the Lord giving us our nationality back, giving us the understanding back, you know, that's prophecy. You seeing Jake tell you he from the tribe of Naphtali, you know, from the tribe of Ephraim, from the tribe of Benjamin, Levi, you see? That's prophecy. You seeing Esau, Edom being exposed. He's no longer perceived as the good guy. You know what I'm saying? No one, the information is out now to where his true biblical nationality is been outed, man, through the prophets, through the word of Yahweh Shemal Shah going forth. So he can no longer hide behind the identity of being white. You know what I mean? He can no longer hide behind the identity of being the most peaceful man on earth, wouldn't hurt a fly ass nigga. You know what I mean? No, because everybody is seeing that this man is a fucking demon. You see? And he'll kill you. He'll kill his own people. You see? And he'll definitely kill you, Jakes. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end, it shall speak and not lie. And this is how we know that we at the end, because these prophecies are speaking, meaning they're coming to pass and they're not lying. That's how we know that the words of the Lord is faithful and true, because we physically see it play out, you know? So these are not just some words written in a book, because you got Jake that like to spew his unbelief, talking about some that the Bible ain't real, you know. Y'all been saying that, you know. I've been hearing that all my life. We've been seeing it, been earthquakes in the earth. You've been having uproars of the people in the earth, but the Lord ain't came back yet, you know. But not understanding, you know, not having understanding, you see. But it says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry, you see. So though it may seem like these prophecies were tarrying for a moment, and really, you really can't even say that it's tarrying now, because it's in your face. It's just you people are just in denial. That's all this shit is. You people just in denial. That's all it is. You just in denial. Because it's in your face, but you still got a nigga, and especially an old nigga, sit up here and tell you that, that's going to happen later on down the line. I might be dead when that comes. Not understanding that your black ass going to be right here when these prophecies continue to increase. You see? Especially that MOTB. You see? Because you old niggas can talk that shit now. You can talk that shit now. But when it's in your face, you ain't gonna be able to say shit. You know? You ain't gonna be able to say a damn thing. And then, if you take it, you gonna fucking die. Thus saith the Lord. But going back, it says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So these prophecies are not tarrying, man. The Lord is making good on his promise. You see? Let's go here. It's Matthew 24 and verse 3. We're going to kind of jump around, because these are the different events that Yahweh Shai gave us, you know, that would be taking place, or the different signs for us to look for to show how close we are to his return, man. So by us measuring the times diligently, we do that through the scriptures. We do that through different news articles that come across brother's phone, you know, different information that ties back to prophecy, different talking points that tie back to prophecy, you know. And we report on these things, showing, you know, like, look, the words of the Lord is faithful and true. The Lord is not lying about the things that he wrote about, because he'll go to evidence right here, you know. And then we give you the scriptures we give you the words of the Lord to bag it up, man. Which the words of the Lord, you know, really don't need no bagging up, because the Lord, if he said it, it's going to happen, man. You know? Matthew 24 and verse 3, it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? So what's going to be the sign of the Lord's coming? The Lord gave the signs out what would be taking place to let us know when he's about to return, man. And this is what the disciples inquired of, man. It says, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And we're in the end of the world. We're in the end of Esau Edom rulership. We're at the end. You see? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. You see? See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You see, so you're seeing the wars and rumors of wars, you know. You're seeing your false pastors, your false preachers, you know, who telling you everything gonna be all right, ain't no evils coming. Just get ready to receive a blessing, you know, and make sure you put that money in the hat, or I'm gonna lock the doors on your ass. That's what your pastor telling you, you know. That your pastor's not warning you about a famine that's coming here, which you should, if you paying attention, you should really see the build up to a famine. A famine should not be far-fetched to you stupid ass people out there, man. A famine should not be far-fetched to you. Because here it is, even during the C-19, you know, you had shortages then. You had literal shortages where you could go in the store and it wasn't shit on the shelves. That wasn't no play right then, man. That was prophecy in you people's face. But guess what? Through Esau setting back up the different bread and circuses, you know, he done let you niggas go back in the street. You know what I mean? Like you, especially you Jakes, you know, when it come to, you know, you had with the spring break madness that went on previously in Houston, you know, well, Jake was just acting a damn fool. But here it is, Jake ain't considering that in the upcoming future, lest they repent, they're gonna be fucking starving to death, man. Literally. Committing cannibalism, you know. Esau gonna be grilling you niggas, literally, you know. Which that's not far-fetched, because he been doing it, man. But how much more in today's time? You see? Continuing on, it says, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You see? So you're hearing of the wars and rumors of wars. Wars are happening everywhere, man, on a global scale. You know, you got chemical warfare. You know, it's a you got food wars. You got all type of wars, gender wars, all type of wars, and it's so fucking sick and sad out here nowadays, especially when it come to like gender wars between man and woman. That shit's so fucked up, man. The Lord need to destroy this place, man, because that don't even make no goddamn sense. Because you literally have a large portion of people on the soils of America, you know, man and woman is divided, man. Now, of course, that's prophecy, but that's not the way, that's not the natural way things should be, man. You should not be okay with, you know, having to ignore your woman. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be okay with that, with men going to all over the world just to get some type of peace, man. You got men sleeping in their cars, you know what I mean, when they get off work. Man get off work at 2:30 and his ass ain't walking back in the house till down near 7 o'clock at night because he's sleeping in his car because he don't want to go into his own fucking house with a nagging woman. That's a goddamn shame, man. Then you had a bitch go out there and have him on camera, catch him sleeping in the car, you know what I mean, want to record him, ask him why you sleeping out here, you know what I mean. Then he tell you want peace, and now you got something else to complain about, you know. Then the bitch upload the video and you just look at the comments of the women, like, you know what I mean, on her side and shit, but not taking the accountability that, bitch, you the fucking problem. You see? You the goddamn problem, man. And especially you women over here in America, man. But that's because you people, you women are drunk off of that wine, man, off that Babylon juice, man. And that shit gonna get you killed. Especially you women of the tribes, man. And especially the so-called black women. Because you make this shit harder than what it has to be, man. Because Jake don't ask for much. Jake don't ask for much. But you women, you women, you done established your footing here. You know what I mean? You become comfortable here, kicked your feet up, you know what I mean? Talked your shit just because you got a decent paying job. You got your own place, your own car. But not understanding that the Lord is going to judge your ass, man. Because there's more women on the earth than men, man. Especially over here in America. And the men over here in America is just opting out on you women, man. They don't even want to deal with you women of the tribes for real, man. They'll rather go deal with Moab, man. Or go deal with a fine-ass Edomite. You see? Go to London or some shit, you know what I mean? Or Paris, you know? Hell, go to Japan. You see, Brazil, you know? But the women over here in America, you women are gonna get it, man. Let's go here. This is Jeremiah 30. In verse 7 it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. You see, so we're in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. You see? But this is just the beginning of sorrows. Eventually, these evils are going to increase to a point where it's going to affect you in your personal life, man. Everybody's going to be affected by Jacob's trouble in some form or fashion, you know, even us believers. But the difference between those of us that are in the know and you people that don't know shit, well, we have Yahweh Shema Shah to depend on, you know, and we have that ingredient that's going to be well needed in these times, which is faith, that gift of faith, you know, because going back to that Habakkuk, you know, it tells you how the just shall live by faith. You see, so you women think that the men of the Lord are just some crazy guys talking shit, wanna, you know what I mean, you don't want to get down, you know what I'm saying, and submit yourselves to the men of the Lord, you know. You don't want to submit yourselves to your men. You're going to be forced to, man. You see? You're going to be forced to, because prophecy going to punch you in the mouth. When Esau, Edom, kick your dough down, you know, when he continue to dry this food up, you know, it's going to be a wrap, especially when that food get drawed up, man. Then you going to want to come off your high horse. You know, you women that didn't want to get a man of the Lord no play. Now you going to want to come, you know, begging, you know what I'm saying? Because Isaiah 4:1 is going to play out, you know. But for some of you women, it's going to be too late, man, because some of you women just went too goddamn far, man. And it's really going to be the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, whether you get with a man of the Lord or not, man. You see? But we in evil and perilous times, man, because a lot of women out here is going to die. A lot of people in general, you know, over here on the soils of America, except for the elect, is going to fucking die, man, you know? And we talking about grievous judgments, because you got the teeth of wild beast out here, you know? Matter of fact, let's grab that. Because this is what Jacob's trouble is going to consist of. Because you people just think y'all just talking, you know what I mean? You really can't fathom how bad it's going to get out here. Like, words really can't express how bad it's going to get out here. We can say it all day, but you people going to feel that, man. Because it's going to be a shift in the earth in general. It's going to be a whole shift. It's going to go from, you know what I mean, a regular, decent day to straight hell all night, all day, you know? Straight hell out of nowhere. And you people are not going to be able to escape it, because it's going to be the judgment of the Lord. This Sirach, Ecclesiastes 39 and verse 28, it says, there'll be spirits that are created for vengeance, you see? So the Lord has these death angels sent out here, you know? That's why you'll see a nigga get ran over by a train, you know what I mean? You'll see a 3-year-old baby get attacked by a lion. That's a spirit created for vengeance, man. You know? I seen a video yesterday on TikTok. It was funny as hell. It was this cow. It was these perceived to be Edomites. They was walking, and this cow came out of nowhere and rammed her ass into the fence, into the barbed wire fence, man. You know? So that was a spirit created for vengeance on that cow to go attack her ass, man, and to run her ass into a wire fence. You see? And guess what? That's the judgments of Yahweh Shemel Shah. You know? See a nigga get ate by a shark. That's the judgments of Yahweh Shemel Shah. But the Lord could get way more creative than that, man. You know, you people ain't saying nothing yet. So there'll be spirits that are created for vengeance. So the Lord has specific spirits, specific angels that are assigned to carry out the judgments of the Lord, you know? It says, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So when these death angels, or when these angels get the assignment from Yahweh Shemel Shah to carry out a certain judgment on whoever it may be, from an old lady to a newborn, you know, a teenager, you know. These spirits are looking to appease the wrath of Yahweh Shemel Shah. You see? So that means they're going to go hard. And it ain't going to be no amount of screaming that you could do to get them off your ass. Like if it's a certain creature on your ass, nigga been hunting you for a week. Nigga ain't lost sight of your ass. He on your trail. You know what I mean? Nigga all his whole mission, he don't sleep. Lord got a certain spirit on him where he don't sleep. Nigga don't need no water, he don't need no food, he don't need no break. You know? His said goal is to carry that judgment out and kill your ass, man. You see? But that's a spirit created for vengeance. You see? It says fire and hell and famine. So famine is also a spirit created for vengeance, man. And the Lord has a spirit on Esau, Edom, to carry forth this certain famine, man. You see? Which is going to be a man-made famine, but it all goes back to Yahweh Shemel Shah, because Esau has a demon on him to do that, man. To literally starve you people out because you refuse to take the MOTB. But really, if you're in the right spirit, who really gives a fuck? Because now this nigga basically threatening you. I ain't finna give you no more GMOs, you know what I mean, if you don't take this C-Hip, you know? You can't get no more GMOs. You can't come in my store and get no more GMOs. You got to fend for yourself. That's basically what he's telling you, man. But like I said, those of us that are in the know, that's what makes us blessed, because we can trust in Yahweh Shemel Shah. Scriptures tell you, let's get that real quick, and Lord will jump back. Because the elect is going to be well taken care of in these times. It's Isaiah 10. In verse 20 it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh Shemel Shah, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. You see? So it's going to come a time where, remember how I just quoted earlier in the Habakkuk, the just shall live by faith, man. So it's going to come a time where we ain't gonna need to depend on Esau's society anymore. You know, the Lord's gonna basically, you know, we're gonna be moving off of faith, man. You know, because we walk by faith, not by sight. And the Lord told us to take no thought for what you're gonna eat, what you're gonna drink, how you're gonna be clothed, how your shoes gonna be in that day. You know, hell, the Lord may have it the way you fresh as hell all the way through Jacob's trouble, and the Lord protecting you, because as we often bring up, the Lord is going to be working miracles on the behalf of the elect. But as for you people outside this council, you're going to die in your unfaithfulness, man. You see? And you're going to be subject to these spirits created for vengeance. You're going to be subject to these plagues. And these things are going to fucking consume you, man. You know? It says fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So these spirits were specifically created for vengeance, man. So this is the duty of these death angels. You see? Is to carry these judgments out. Teeth of wild beasts. So you're going to have teeth of wild beasts. You're going to have certain animals out here that you ain't even know existed, man. You see? It's going to go beyond a lion escaping the zoo, a tiger escaping the zoo. The Lord got animals out here that's going to far exceed all that, man. You know? Because keep in mind, the whole earth has not been discovered. So we don't know what the hell the Lord got out here, man. But we know that it's a spirit created for vengeance on them to carry out the will of Yahweh Shemal Washai. You see? The Lord got Leviathan, you know? Because Leviathan going to come out. Behemoth going to come out. Those are spirits created for vengeance, man. So how much more another, Lord knows how many other creatures that ain't even recorded in the scriptures, man. That's why the scriptures tell you to fear Yahweh Shemal Washai, you know? That's why the Lord is greatly to be feared, man. And this is how the Lord is going to be known in these last days, by the judgments which he executeth, man. Because that's why you people could walk your asses around here so prideful, you know, thinking ain't nothing going to happen to you, you know. Because the Lord's power in his fullness is not on display right now. It is in certain, you know, inklings, but that ain't even a speck of what the Lord got in store for this place, because this is the last time a heathen is ever going to rule, you know. So you know the Lord is going to execute a judgment, you know, that's going to far exceed any other time in history, man, you know. That's why it tells you it's going to be so bad out here that even Michael the Archangel is going to have to stand up on the behalf of the elect. That's how bad it's going to get out here. Like the Lord is literally, the Lord going to have a spirit on the believers to be able to get through these times. It's going to take divine intervention, you see, even on that level, to be able to behold a scary looking creature, you know what I mean, that you never seen before, like a Bigfoot, you know what I mean? Or just something that the worst thing you can ever think of, the Lord can make it happen, man. You see, because anything is possible with Yahweh Shemal Washai. And you people gonna find that out real soon. But continuing on, it says teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. So these judgments are gonna be are created for the wicked, you know. These judgments are created for the wicked, man. And these people are going to be getting ripped apart. You know what I mean? These people are going to get fucked up, man. And that's why we tell you and we warn you jakes out there to repent. To repent, man. And seek Yahweh Shemal Washai while he may be found, man. Because only the Lord can get you out of this, man. Only the Lord can get you out of this. Man ain't going to be able to save you. Your granny ain't gonna be able to save you. Nobody's gonna be able to save you, man. Only Yahweh Shemal Washai can save you, man. You know? It says, they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. So these spirits are ready when the Lord get ready to bring a judgment, or he has a counsel, because you know the scriptures tell you in Job, you know, before the Lord brings out a certain judgment, he has a counsel in the heavens, in the spirit world, man. You know? And he has the angels to, you know what I mean, basically do his will, man. You know? Make certain suggestions to him, you know what I'm saying? And the Lord like it, he like, yeah, we're gonna go with that. You know, on some final destination shit, you know what I'm saying? Well, a penny, you know what I mean, can make a whole goddamn building collapse. You know what I'm saying? And people falling thousands of feet from the air and end up landing mouth open on a fucking pole, man. You know what I mean? That bitch go right through them all the way. With their mouth wide open, that bitch just go right through it. God damn. Shit like that gonna be happening, man. Like, that ain't nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? Find a destination, that show you something, man. You know? Even 1,000,000 ways to die. Because the Lord can kill you in so many ways, man. The Lord can torture you in your sleep. Matter of fact, let's go here. Because it even tells you, let me finish this out. It says, and when their time is come, they said, I'm going to start over. It says, they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So, just like I spoke about earlier, you ain't going to be able to make a deal with these spirits, man. You know, when a robo dog on your ass, you ain't going to be able to give them a dog treat, give them a bone, even if it's a real dog. The Lord can have the spirit on that motherfucker to not take nothing you give him. It don't matter how good, whatever you got a can of tuna. It don't matter how good that shit smell. That nigga mission is to get you the fucking tuna. You know what I'm saying? He just got a taste for you. You know what I mean? And the Lord's gonna have these type of judgments playing out. And that's all through a death angel carrying that out, man. You know? Which is to not transgress the commandment of the Lord. You see? So ain't gonna be no negotiating with him, man. His whole mission is to kill you, man. And that appeases the wrath of the Lord. So now you're getting you should be getting a better understanding on how the God of the Bible actually gets down, man. So whatever your pastor told you, you know, telling you that the Lord is all love, Lord wouldn't, you know what I mean, he wouldn't do nothing wrong like that, you know, not my God. Some old bitch that still go to church. Bitch been in the church over 30 goddamn years, still talking about some not my fucking God. You know what I mean? Fuck out my face, man. Going here. It's Amos 3. In verse 6 it says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh Shai have not done it? You see? So once again, whatever your pastor told you is about how the Lord get down, that's a goddamn lie, man. Your pastor lied to you, Jakes, man. And it's 2026, and you still got Jakes out here still going to church. You still got Northern Kingdom out here, you know, worshiping some goddamn Mary. You know what I'm saying? And you just gonna find out real soon that you made a big mistake, man. You see? So the Lord is the one that orchestrates and carries out these evils, man. And guess what? These are secrets that you are being exposed to right now. Whether you want to believe it or not. This is a secret because the whole planet Earth doesn't even, you know, consider this is how the Lord gets down. You see? The people don't even consider these things. This is how the God of the Bible get down. Because everybody want to hold fast to what Esau told them. You know? And what Esau taught them and told them how the Lord get down. But with the prophets being on the scene, starting with our apostles and elders, a great millstone on down, We're here to give you the true nature of the God of the Bible, man. You know, which is a balanced power. You see? Continuing on, it says, surely the Lord with power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. You see? So these secrets have been revealed in these last days to the Lord's prophets. You see? Matter of fact, let's prove it. Because even Yahweh Shah said it. St. John 15 and verse 14, it says, ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. It says, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. You see? So everything that was told to Yahweh Shai concerning the Heavenly Father's prophecies, plans, thoughts, characteristics, mindset, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I think I already said thoughts, so like, you know, these things that was revealed and given to Yahweh Shai is giving these same secrets and mysteries unto us in these last days. The initiated, you know, starting with our apostles on down. You see? And the Lord said he calls us not servants, because the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. You see? Because you're not going to reveal your deepest secrets to just a regular servant, man. Or just an ordinary servant. You're not going to do that. You're not going to tell him your plans, you know. You're not going to tell him, you know, your secrets. You see? That's why Yahweh Shai said, I call you friends. You see? So Yahweh Shai calls us friends, man. Lord, when we are that number. Because we have the highest information on the planet Earth. You see? Because what the Lord has revealed unto us, this far exceeds man's wisdom, man. Let's prove that. Because man's wisdom can't tell you how to escape famine. It doesn't even matter if, because you got these different preppers out here, you got these different Edomites that take their ass out here, you know what I'm saying, and dwell in the wilderness, you know, and wanna show you how to survive during the apocalypse or some crazy shit, how to start a fire, you know what I mean, how to fish with a goddamn stick, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know. But, you know, we ain't gotta worry about doing all that, man. But the Lord gonna take care of us. That ain't, but man's wisdom can only go so far. Man's wisdom ain't gonna tell you how to escape thermonuclear missiles, man. Cause the most, or the height of man's wisdom when it comes to these missiles being shot and how to escape it, this thermonuclear holocaust, you know, the most they could come up with is a bunker, you know. Most they could come up with is flying, which, you know, that shit ain't gonna be worth nothing. You know what I mean? You just gonna get caught up in the mushroom cloud, because you can only go so far up, you know. But let's get straight into the scriptures though, right here. So man's wisdom is not gonna save you, man. That don't mean shit. But this 1 Corinthians 3. I'm gonna start at 18. It says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise, you see? And that just means willing to be taught, man. And the only way that you could be taught is through the Lord's men, you know? And we're not perceived in this world to be, you know, according to you people, of men carrying, you know, the wisdom of Yahweh Shema Shai, the God of the Bible. You know, we're not perceived as, you know, men of wisdom. You see, according to you people's, you know, you know, the way you look at us, the way you view us, according to your mind. You know, just cause we ain't got, you know what I mean, status in this world, like a nigga like LeBron James, you know, a nigga like Kodak. Cause even Kodak dumbass, you know, can say he can say something and a nigga be like, man, that's deep, you know. Nigga think that's the deepest goddamn thing he ever heard in his life. Or a nigga quote a Tupac lyric, you know what I mean? And now that's just the deepest shit. Now he live by that now, you know. But you know that the poor man's wisdom is despised, you see. But continuing on, verse 19, it says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. So while you people may highly esteem a nigga like Terrence Howard, nigga going to all the, you know what I mean, I don't even, you know what I'm saying? Nigga going to all that, nigga he'll tell you how hot the sun is or some crazy shit, you know what I mean? What type of hypothesis, you know what I mean? Nigga just start saying shit, you know, or that nigga, what that nigga name is, Degrassi, some shit, that little scientist nigga, you know. But even their wisdom in the sights of this world is foolishness. Or a nigga that know how to make money on this side, that's foolishness in the sights of the Lord, man. You getting a college degree, you getting your bachelor's, you know. That's foolishness in the sights of Yahweh Shema Shai. That ain't no wisdom, you know. Cause here it is, you got doctors in America. They supposed to be the wise guys of this world, but this nigga giving you cold pills, man. Instead of giving you the true herbs of the earth, you know what I mean? This nigga giving you a cold white pill, you know what I mean? Or some liquid shit with about 50 ingredients on that bitch that make you sleep after 2 hours of taking it, you know what I mean? Instead of just giving you some herbs to help your situation out, man. Which that's recorded in the scriptures. The Lord told us to abhor not the herbs, roughly paraphrased. Lord told us to use herbs, man. You know? But man's wisdom is foolishness in the sights of the Lord. That's the whole point, you know? Because at the end of the day, you can have all that wisdom in this world. Your most wisest guy, you know what I mean, in America. But I bet you he don't know America gonna be destroyed. You know? That's what makes us, you know, the wisest men on the planet Earth. You see? Because, like we read earlier, we understand the perfect will of the God of the Bible, man. Which is to do away with this place. You see? It says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. You see? So in the sights of the Lord, man's wisdom don't mean nothing. You know? Because what's that's going to do for you having a college degree in the time of a famine? When ain't nothing in your refrigerator, you know what I'm saying? Nothing in your cabinets. You done ate everything now. You on your last cracker. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You on your last cracker, goddamn. What you gonna do then? You know? Or let's say you one of them, because you probably got one of these little punk ass Edomites on here. They're gonna bring their ass on here talking shit. Well, I store up food. You know what I mean? Not understanding that when all hell break loose, how you know you're gonna be able to reach your items that you stored up? That's what makes your plans vain. And do you thought you could outsmart the Lord prophecies, man? Lord can have you you ain't even thinking about what you stored up. You know what I'm saying? Hell, the Lord's so cold with it. You can have your possessions, you know what I'm saying? But the Lord could put it in your mind to where you don't even know that you got that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know that you got it no more. But it's right there. You know what I'm saying? That's just like you, for example, that's just like, you know, you put your car keys, you know what I mean, somewhere on the counter or something, and you come back, you can't find them. You done forgot where you put them out of nowhere. You know what I mean. You did know that you put them on the counter, but out of nowhere, Lord just have it where you just forget where you even put it. But it's still on the counter the whole time. You know what I'm saying? The Lord could do that. You know what I'm saying? And plus, you Edomites, and even you Jakes that think you finna store shit up, you know, you really storing up stuff for the believers, man. Lord ain't finna let you get off like that, man. Especially you Edomites. Because the Lord is gonna do y'all in, man. You know? Y'all be living in these $1 million mansions, you know what I'm saying? In these gated communities, you know? Like y'all gonna come together or something. That shit gonna affect y'all too, you know? And you gonna be assed out, you see? But going here. Sirach, back in that Sirach, Ecclesiastes 39. In verse 1, it says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecy." You see, so this is where the real wisdom lies at, man. It's in the Holy Scriptures. You see? In the books of Jeremiah, Isaiah, you know? All the way to the New Testament. You see? This is where the real wisdom lies at, you see? And that's why in these times when all of these people are in the state of perplexity, when all hell break loose, you know, they ain't gonna know what to do in these terrible times. That's why wisdom and knowledge is gonna be the stability of our time and the strength of our salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, roughly paraphrasing. You see? But let's go here. Jumping down to the 15th verse, it says, "Magnify his name and show forth his praise with the songs of your lips, and with harps, and with praising him. You shall say after this manner, all the works of Yahweh Shema Shah are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commandeth shall be accomplished in due season." So the Lord's going to accomplish everything that's written in due season, man. From these evils coming to pass, to the deliverance of the elect out of these terrible times, even the salvation of the elect, you know, when those missiles are shot, and Lord willing, we beamed up into that chariot, man. You see? Matter of fact, let's get this and close out. Sirach, Ecclesiastes 2, in verse, I'm gonna start at I might well take it from the top. Verse 1, it says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." You see? So, of course, you know, us being brought into this truth, we know and understand we've been brought into this truth to suffer, man. You see? For Yahweh Shema Shah's sake. So it ain't like it's going to be a cakewalk to the kingdom, you know? Because guess what? Even though we're speaking about these evils coming, we still have to endure unto the end. We still have to endure these evils because we're going to be down here, you see, in the midst of these evils, you know. But even with that, you know, it's still a comfort there because the Lord has given us the comfort in these last days, which is the understanding to the Lord's plans, you see. So even though we're in the midst of these evils, we still know we were still foretold of these things. So that brings forth a certain level of comfort, man. You know? So it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble. So when these times of trouble come, the Lord told us to be still and know that he is, man. So don't take matters into your own hands, thinking you can save yourself. You know, just because Esau making these little childish threats, you know. But the Lord is encouraging us to basically be still and wait on him, because it's the Lord orchestrating everything, whether it's on the right hand or the left hand side, either way. So the same power that has the power to destroy is the same power that can deliver, man. And that's through our Lord Yahawashi. It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou change to a lower state. So we're all going to be changed to a lower state. You see, we're changed to a lower state now as a nation of people. You see? So you Jakes don't really have nothing to hold on to. Really, what are you holding on to? You see? Because you don't have nothing in this world. You ain't calling the shots in this world, man. Because all Jakes going through something. Because guess what? We're still subject to Deuteronomy 28. You see, we're still subject to the curses, man. You know, curse shall thou be when I come in, and curse shall thou be going out, man. Point blank, period. So it doesn't matter what you have accumulated on this side. Understand and know that the things of this world are temporal. The things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal, man. And that's what keeps us going through the mercies of Yahweh Shema Shai. It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. So we're being tried now. You see, we're going to be tried and tested even in Jacob's trouble. You see, but that's why cleaving unto the Yahweh Shema Shai, cleaving unto the words and departing not away, that's what's going to deliver us in these times. Keeping that faith. Above all, taking the shield of faith, man. You know, continuing on, it says, believe in him and he will help thee. See, the Lord said he was going to help us, man. You know, order thy way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear Yahweh Shema shall wait for his mercy and go not aside lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear Yahweh Shema shall hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. So we're hoping for good, you know. We're hoping. We all been subject to hope at the end of the day, you know. We all been subject to just hope that the Lord have mercy upon us and protect us in these times, because there's nothing that you could do. You see? It says, look at the generations of old and see. So look at our forefathers and foremothers of old. Did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? You see, so when we look at the generations of old, we see that the Lord never forsook those that trusted him, you know, and the Lord is not going to forsake us in these times. You see, Lord willing, we are that number. It says, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in the time of affliction. You see, so the Lord is going to save us in these times of us being afflicted, man. You see, so Lord willing, that was edifying. I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men who taught me this truth. Peace and blessings be to the hopeful elect, your men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Shalom.